Hey everybody, good Thursday morning, top of the morning to you. $40 trillion. That's the Morning Post this morning as I sat out here on my little back porch in East Point, Georgia at 8:19 on this Thursday morning, top of the morning. Boom Boom sitting here at my feet. He's very concerned and interested what Pawpaw has to say this morning. Sitting here paying attention to me. But good morning everybody. $40 trillion. Is the Morning Post, our national debt. Financially, I've always been a conservative kind of person. You know, being raised poor in Cabbagetown and kind of watch your pennies and count your dollars. And, you know, I've always just been kind of a conservative kind of guy when it comes to finances. And even with that, I've gotten in financial trouble a few times over my life. In the Republican collapse of the economy in 2007 and 2008, my little blueprint shop over in Grant Park, we were doing about $60,000 a month. And then all of a sudden it went from $60,000 a month when all the banks started collapsing, building just stopped, to about $8,000 or $10,000 a month. I remember I went in one morning and let 3 full-time employees go all on the same morning. I knew that I had to try to kind of keep my financial house from collapsing. The 3 of them went on to draw unemployment for the next year because there was no jobs to be had, and the company had to pay for part of that unemployment they were drawing, and our unemployment insurance went way up because of that. President Obama came into office in 2008 or whenever that was, right as all the banks across the nation and world financial markets were collapsing. That was the keys to the Oval Office that young man walked into. And, you know, y'all, you don't hear Trump or the MAGA crowd talk about out-of-control spending or a balanced budget or the national debt. Fox News, who always has railed against those spend-crazy liberal Democrats every time one of them is in office, never whispers a word about him spending $1 billion on a ballroom so they can entertain and have parties. Or the $400 million in security upgrades for that palace of a plane that the Omir gifted to it. How do we survive as a country with a $40 trillion debt? How do we even pay down any of it? It's almost like it's so much now, just forget about it. You're never going to make a dent in it. Will it all just collapse at some point on all of us? We almost went bankrupt as a country in 2008, and here we are again, probably a lot closer to it now than most people think we are. 25% of that $40 trillion has happened under the Trump MAGA movement. The other 75% took about 250 years to accumulate, but 25% of that has happened under Donald Trump. The Iran war is hundreds of billions of dollars now. There's no end to it. And then you know, this MAGA crowd who proclaimed, oh, we're going to take our country back. Oh, we're going to make America great again. Glory be unto the name of the Lord. You know, they've just about destroyed the country is what they've done. And as the country is heading toward financial ruin, the Trumps and other billionaires are getting richer and richer off of the taxpayer nipple. What is this MAGA idea about that the wealthy and rich corporations need more and more tax breaks? Every time I ride through places out in Georgia, out of Atlanta and Gainesville or somewhere, and you drive by these little rundown trailer parks and they got old raggedy Trump sign blowing up on one of the trailers, I'm like, what's wrong with them people? When in the world has a bunch of rich billionaires ever cared about poor people in trailer parks out here in the outskirts of Georgia somewhere? It's just mind-blowing how that poison of a doctrine of them sitting in front of Fox News all day just literally makes them view wrong as right black is white. They get such a poison, radicalized way of thinking that Donald Trump, Ivanka, Melania Trump cares about them in their little trailer up there on the side of the highway, barely able to keep their propane tanks full. Good Lord, y'all. Makes no sense to me. Progressives, liberals, and Democrats have always been accused of being spin-crazy liberals. And yet, Bill Clinton, a Democratic president, was the last president to have a balanced budget. Donald Trump is a spending junkie because it is always other people's money he's spending. And there are no safety rails in Congress to stop any of it. It is easy to spend other people's money. That's why credit card debt can get away from people so easily, so quickly. It almost feels like you're just spending other people's money until the bill comes and you realize, oh my God, I done got $10,000 on this credit card now. And it's got 23% interest. I got to figure out a way to now keep it from swallowing me up. The national $40 trillion debt will swallow this country up at some point. Not only has our moral house collapsed under this white evangelical Christian nationalist movement known as MAGA, but our financial house may collapse or will collapse on us again at some point in the near, and it might be closer than y'all think, people. Can you imagine the interest that we as a people pay on $40 trillion debt every month? Just the interest on that. That alone would easily pay for Medicare for all. But one thing we can be assured of in the upcoming elections, it will all be blamed on those social democrats and communism and Mondani in New York City and those spin-crazy liberals. But the numbers tell a different story. 25% of that $40 trillion is directly associated with Donald Trump. The whole system, y'all, is rotten. I'm starting to wonder, how can a rotten system ever self-correct? How do we ever get better as a country? How do we ever get our financial house in order? Good Thursday morning, sweet people. It is fun spending money. We all need some retail therapy sometimes. Head up to Lenox or to the mall and just go spend money. It's not so fun when you don't have the money and you go spend it anyway, like Donald Trump's doing right now. And when it comes time to pay it back. Financially, I've always been a conservative kind of person. That's the only reason that I've been able to stay in business with A1 Blueprint for 28 years now, because I didn't run out and bake business loans and tons and tons and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Over the years, I even tell people I buy paper from and this and that and that. I just have my American Express card on file. When I order something, $8,000 and $10,000, just put it on there. We pay it at the end of the month. If you can't pay it, we're not putting it on credit. You know, it's not so fun when you spend money that you don't have, and it comes time to pay it back. Financially, I've always been a conservative type of guy. Somebody needs to pay that $40 trillion back. One thing is for certain. It won't be Donald Trump and the Elon Musk and the billionaires of this country. It'll be people working at Walmart, people making $8, $9, $10 an hour on minimum wage out here in the country. Yeah. As the rich get richer, as they say. $40 trillion in debt. Love y'all.